Hello everyone, this is Ryan, and in this lesson I'm going to be teaching you about character entities. So a character entity is an alternative way to represent a character in HTML. So you'll know, for example, some characters in HTML are reserved. For example, the less than sign, the greater than sign, the ampersand sign, and the double quote. So if we have some coding here, we want to now create an actual less than sign and display it on the screen. We can't use a less than sign because a less than sign has another meaning in HTML. So we create a character entity for it instead. All character entities begin with the ampersand character, and brackets conveniently brings up a list of all the different character entities for us as soon as we enter the ampersand character. But I happen to know for a fact that the less than symbol is LT. So LT, and I see there it is, and it actually shows me that it's a less than symbol. Notice when I press enter, it adds a semicolon to the end of it. So now if I just type the word body, and now I want to do a greater than sign at the end of that, I'll once again need a character entity for the greater than sign, so I'll do a GT for greater than with a semicolon at the end. And I'll just put that whole thing into a paragraph because it doesn't really make much sense otherwise. Okay, so let's have a look at the live preview, and you'll notice that it's actually displaying the less than sign and the greater than sign, whereas if I just said body by itself like this, it would interpret it as a tag. Now I'm able to show it literally by converting the less than sign to its character entity equivalent and converting the greater than sign to its character entity equivalent. Okay, some other ones, we can get a list of all the different ones by going to Google, doing a search for character entities, and there's various sites that will show you examples of character entities. I like this one from the W3, the World Wide Web Consortium. You'll see it gives you a nice table of all the different possible character entities, and it's actually quite easy to insert a character entity. So for example, if I wanted to insert this 1/3 symbol, there's 3 different ways to do it. We can use ampersand frac 13. I think I like that one. So let me go back to the code, and I'm going to just make a separate paragraph for this and say ampersand frac 13 semicolon 1/3 of the population, blah blah blah. And let's go look at that in the live preview. Notice how it's actually inserted the fraction into the document. Okay, a couple of other useful ones that you can add is the copyright symbol. So we may just say ampersand copy and the year that we're copyrighting it. A lot of people put that into the footer of their document, and there you can see on the live preview what that looks like. A couple of other ones that I use: register trademark, ampersand reg semicolon. Let's see what that looks like. It's basically an R in a circle. So Microsoft, for example, would be okay. What about a normal trademark? It's a Coca-Cola, ampersand trade semicolon. You get that little TM at the top. Other useful character entities are the euro symbol. So that would just be ampersand euro. You might say you want 50 euros. So there's the euro symbol. You may need to zoom in a bit for you to see it properly. What about the pound symbol? That's just ampersand pound. Okay. In HTML, there are a couple of other reserved words. For example, what happens if you want to actually display a literal ampersand to the screen? The way you do that is by saying amp. Then you get that ampersand coming up. If you want more than one space between two words, you'll notice we know HTML ignores spacing, so it only gives us one space between two words. But there is an alternative way of creating a space in HTML, and that is by using the character entity Nbsp, which is short for non-breaking space. So if I just add a lot of those together, I can actually get a couple of non-breaking spaces. Nbsp, make sure you spell it correctly, otherwise it won't work. So note the increasing space between the two words. And those are some examples of character entities. Feel free to explore all the different other character entities that we get. There's some very interesting symbols that are very useful, and I'm sure you may come across some of these and may need them somewhere in your code at some point in time. So that brings us to the end of the lesson on inserting character entities into our document.